continue and ask a question that's been prepared by the Rain Cross group. We'll start with Mr. Bailey, and then Mr. Adkison, I'll ask you the same type of questions, so be prepared. Okay. It won't be a traditional rebuttal. Mr. Bailey, your resume does not include a lot of management experience. Should that matter to voters?
Well, I'm not running for city manager. I'm running for mayor. And in the charter, it calls for the mayor to be the spokesperson for the city, to preside over the meetings, and to set the policy agenda, and to push the policy agenda if necessary. And I think that takes a leadership style of being facilitative, of being collaborative, of building consensus, and having relationships with the council, who ultimately decides policy. Okay, so as elected officials, we take public will, we shape public policy, and then we have to create the political will to enact that policy. But we also have to partner with the chief executive, who's the city manager, to implement that. And we've got 2,400 incredible, hardworking employees. I would say the city of Riverside is the most responsible and responsive government in Southern California, if not the state. We're getting close to answering 200,000 calls for service through our 311 system. And now we have an app. Who's got a smartphone out there? You can put an app on your smartphone and click a pothole, a street light that's out, a shopping cart, and send that in, and they will fix that typically within 24 hours. It's a great service. Also, as I talked about, we have a balanced budget, and we have a $40 million reserve that protects our bond ratings, which are AAA or A+. I think we've got a great thing going on here in Riverside.
Mr. Adkison, the flip side of that is you have a lot of management experience, but aren't some of the issues at the core of your campaign actually the responsibility of the city manager?
Well, that could be true, but that gives me some experience. I've had my business for 30 years. I know what it takes to make a budget. I know what it takes to make a payroll. It gives me that life's experience to look at how we make those policy decisions, because the city council and the mayor make the policy decisions for the city. And to be fiscally responsible, if you look at some of the things, even though we have a $40 million surplus right now, you got a lawsuit filed with the city of Riverside on Prop 218, and there's uncertainty as to where that's going to end. And basically, based on that, the city of Riverside is not going to transfer $6 million a year from the water into the general fund for its budget. So having those type of skill sets helps me work with people and brings that kind of leadership to the mayor and city council. If you've noticed lately at the city council, there seems to be a lot of friction going on. We've had friction in the past when I was on the council, but we did it quietly. We got it resolved without airing our differences out in the public. And so I think a strong mayor with that type of business skills can bring the council together and not have to showcase what's going on in the public.
You mentioned a lawsuit that Riverside is facing. We know that there have been 3 municipalities that have filed for bankruptcy recently, Mammoth Lakes being one of them, and they filed bankruptcy exclusively as a result of a loss in litigation. San Bernardino is but 15 minutes away from here, and there, but go the grace of God, Riverside is not San Bernardino. As you look forward, how do you prevent Riverside from facing the same fate of our friends in San Bernardino? We'll start with Rusty Bailey.
Well, we thank God for our public utility, first of all. And by design in the charter, it allows us to shift funding, excess funding, reserves to the general fund so that we can operate our libraries, our police, our fire departments, those essential services that our residents expect us to provide. And so when times get tough, we can shift that money to the general fund. Now, there is going to be some adjustments here soon because of what Mr. Adkison identified in the water fund. And so we'll have to adjust with that, just like we've adjusted with the redevelopment money that has been taken away from us. And that's one of the reasons why we have had to increase the overall budget of our city to fill in the gaps where redevelopment money was taken away.
Mr. Adkison?
Yeah, a couple things. I think if you look at the public utilities lately and look at your bill, there's a lot of charges on there, and I think it seems like we're getting nickel and dime to death, and we need to take a look at those. And I think some of the fees that we're being charged with we were sold that they were going to be used for other things.
But if you can focus on our friends in San Bernardino, I mean, literally, it's 15 minutes up the road. Why is Riverside not San Bernardino?
I was responding to what he was saying, so we were off.
Fair enough, but I'd like to bring us back to...
I think you have to plan for the worst and hope for the best. I think Riverside is in a pretty good shape. We do have on the public utility and a transfer of 11% into the general fund. If you take that, that's about $40 million a year, and then you have $25 million utility user tax. So a third of our general fund budget comes from our public utilities, and that's probably the time that it should be maxed out is the time that we're in the worst condition. And I think when things get better, we need to quit transferring the full 11.5% and get that percentage down. So the whole reason you have a public utility in the city is so the ratepayers get the benefit from it, and it's not there to use the max all the time.